Hi, Hills of Peace Youth Camp 2018. I'm Cindy, and I did meet you briefly on Sunday and Monday before I had to go back to work. Sorry I missed you guys and all the activities that you've had this week. Caitlin wanted me to talk to you a little bit about what my experience was like in the early 1980s. I was one of the first women in Alberta to be ordained after the church decided to begin ordaining women in 1984. A little bit about myself. I was born in 1962, so that was a really long time ago for you guys. One of the decades that you guys are talking about. And my experience being born in 1962 was probably a bit different than some of the girls that were born in my time. My parents were farm people, but they were very forward-looking and very equal, and I was not raised to be any different than my brothers. I was raised to have equal opportunity to them and expected to get an education and to be very equal to them. I was very lucky that way. So I grew up not thinking that I was any different than any boy or having any sort of different opportunity than a boy would have. So in 1984, when the revelation came down with the admonition to start preparing women for ordination, it really didn't surprise me, and it only made sense to me. It didn't make sense to me that God would put different, less worthy people in different gendered bodies. And so to me it was just sort of expected. And I guess I didn't really understand the importance of that because it was just expected to me. I did have a fairly heated discussion about it with with Caitlin's dad. We were married in 1984, and I remember having discussions with him about it, and telling him how it didn't make any sense to me at all that women shouldn't be ordained. So I was called to do the office of priest in 1986, and I was ordained in May of 1987. And I was actually pregnant with my first child then, so I expect that was sort of a big shock to the people around who were present at that ordination in some aspects, because there was a young woman. I was so in 1997 I just turned 25. I was pregnant with my first child. This was a very different person they were used to seeing in the role of a priesthood member in our congregation. So I've been in the priesthood a long time now, and I have watched my daughter be ordained, which is very exciting, and I have watched the church grow in a very great way, in many ways, and welcoming many different types of people with many different kinds of ministry into the church. Very happy to be part of this progressive movement. I don't consider myself a pioneer. As I said, it just seemed like the right thing to do, and has seemed like the right thing to do as I've continued through my life and tried to provide the ministry in the best way that I can. I am grateful and encouraged that you guys are looking at diversity and trying to wrap your head around people who are different than yourselves. It's a lifelong journey to do that, and certainly over my lifetime I have had many opportunities to rethink both what I was taught as I was growing up and as I learned as I went along. I wish you long years and great strides in your journey.